All right. That's right. That's right. We are here. We are here. It's your boy Astro coming at you today, tonight, this evening, wherever you are in the world. It don't even matter. We're just gonna have a conversation about a certain things around a certain 30. All right. 6:48. It's a good time. It's a good time to talk with my peoples. That's right. My tribe, my tribe, my tribe. Oh, how I love my tribe. Love you guys. You guys are funny. Y'all are pretty entertaining and amazing. And I just enjoy just speaking with y'all. You know, y'all are that important to me. It just, you know, it just is what it is. The thing is, though, I'm a mystery to a lot of people. I am. And I understand that. Some people won't understand me because I don't fit in the general box of what a man is supposed to be like, or even in my position should be like. And then your people who can feel your power and misinterpret it as being malicious. They don't know how to really articulate what they're feeling. I'm used to it. And once you're in the position of leadership, the position of certain power externally, you are going to get this sort of, how should I put it, flack from people who are not truly in tune with their own power. These are the people who we would consider, or what I consider, in victim state of mind. In the victim state of mind. And I realize that, we all have different opinions. We all have our way of dealing with stuff that is different from others. But it's unique to the person who's talking. Okay. That doesn't mean that you or that person is evil because they don't believe what you believe, or they don't go by the way you go about things. It just makes them different. I think that sometimes victimhood, or being a victim, majority of the times, you can see them. When I have communication with them, when I talk with them, I can feel them. I let them speak. Oh, that's what he did to you? Oh my God. And then I carry back to, did you know that you designed your whole life? You chose them so that you could experience what you're experiencing now. And I know it sounds like a lot of spiritual jargon, but I can assure you that it is just as real as me speaking to you now. That's just how it is. We, as human beings, forget that we are a soul first, then a human being. You're not a human being having a soul experience. You're a soul having a human being experience. That means that your soul comes first, not your ego, which is the human being. Sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we think that we can overshadow our soul. And our souls is the one who chose this whole thing and did it. And I'm not going to get into those relationship conversations because we are all at different phases of our soul's evolution. Some of you are in the soul evolution of being monogamous. Some of you are soul evolution of just being polygamous. Some of you are in the soul experience of being multi-relational. That's right. That's a new term coined by me, multi-relational, having relationships with multiple people. And these things can be seen in the chart. I gave you on my Facebook. I made a list, but not limited to the different placements that can lean you towards it. The more placements you have, the more you are open to relational, to being multi-relational. Some people, where the relationships, like, I mean, their status or their desire, like they wear makeup, you know, like you wear makeup. Some people go about their lives pretending to be so monogamous, but having in their phone the rent guy, the nails guy, the fast food guy, the plumber, the cable man, the pool man, the gardener, the co-worker, the man that drives the bus, the homeboy who does give you a little bit of, I should say, discount when you go in the store. That's right. You are multi-relational. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to take you down the road of infidelity or having sex with every one of them. But some of you are very much multi-relational, pretending to be monogamous. And that's okay. I just want you to know that if I have your chart, mother, you can't lie to me. You cannot. It's just not possible. I let people lie to me. I just let them be. I let them have conversations. I let them talk their shit, and they'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, I feel what you're saying. Okay, I feel what you're saying," and that's all it is. We, but this wearing monogamy like you wear makeup doesn't make sense to me. But it makes sense to a lot of people, you know, to wear makeup and hair and eyelashes and all these things that people will compliment you on. Be like, yeah, girl, you look good with the makeup and the eyelashes that's not yours, and that makeup that's not yours, and your hair that's absolutely not yours. But you look genuine. You look just like that's the same way how people fake with their relationships. Wear a mask. Girl, I don't do them kind of things. Mm-mm. But you know you do. We know you do. You can't hide. Now, some of you, not all of you, some of you are very much monogamous, very much faithful, and show fidelity to their partner. There are quite a few. Even in this world, the animal kingdom, there are quite a few species, not a lot, very rare, maybe about 10 or 11 of them. And I see somebody asking, how much is the Astro? There's a thing going across that's telling you exactly how much it is. But that animal, those amount of people, those amount of animals that are monogamous are very, but they exist. So that means that that man that you're looking for, that's truly monogamous, is there. He exists. He's just with another woman. Oh gosh, this is funny. It's funny. But it is what it is. I like to be real with y'all. As a multi relational guy, I just would like to, as an honorary, you know, multi-relational guy, I'd like to just have a conversation with you about your placements. You want me to go with it? I will just let you know. All right. Devonna Michelle, I think you're one of those people. And then we have uh Tank. Tank. And we have Mel Rowe. We got three persons who are here on the list. Devonna Michelle will probably be the first. But I'm going to just for this purpose sake, I'm going to call some of the trades that are here so we can have a conversation about it. So you guys won't feel any type of way by my posting about these stuff. I just want to be very clear about what I say so y'all got to understand what I mean. All right. So if you have in your chart Venus square Saturn, there's a strong possibility that you are multi-relational. Venus opposition Saturn, Venus conjunct Uranus, Venus conjunct Neptune, Juno in the third house, Juno in the 12th house, Juno in the 9th house, Juno in the 11th house, Juno in Gemini, Juno in Sagittarius, Juno in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, Venus in Gemini, Venus in Sagittarius, Venus in Aquarius, Venus in the 3rd, the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th, Juno square Saturn, Juno opposition Saturn, Juno conjunct Uranus, Juno conjunct Neptune. 7th house, if you have 7th house on your Aquarius, that means that you're Leo rising. That means that you are also multi-relational. 5th house Aquarius, that means that you are a Libra rising. You also are multi-relational. That's right. Leo rising, Libra rising, multi-relational. Ruler of the 5th house, that means whatever sign is on the 5th house and the planet that rules that 5th house, or that sign on the 5th house, if it has a square aspect to Saturn, you are multi-relational. Ruler of the 7th house is opposite Saturn. You are multi-relational. The rule of the 5th house is, 7th house is square to Saturn, multi-relational. Rule of the 5th house is conjunct Neptune, multi-relational. Rule of the 5th house, conjunct Uranus, multi-relational. Uranus in the 5th, Uranus in the 7th, Neptune in the 5th, Neptune in the 7th, or Eros conjunct Mars in a fire sign. Jupiter conjunct Venus, Jupiter conjunct Juno, Jupiter, the ruler of the 5th house. If Jupiter is conjunct the ruler of the 5th house, if Jupiter is conjunct the ruler of the 7th house, if Jupiter is conjunct Mars, Eros in the 5th house, Eros conjunct Jupiter. You see this? This is a lot. It's a whole lot. And in that post that I made, I didn't leave out any. Well, I left out about just a few of them. Okay. All right. But that's just how it is. People need to know that they're just human beings, a soul having a human being experience. There's nothing to be guilty about or feeling a sort of, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, because people like to do that. I look at my posts and I see people, yeah, that's just these men. They need to find, they just need to this and that. And I be listening to these people, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna jump inside somebody else's body and be them, be able to control. And I think it's very unfair to tell a man that, yeah, well, that's your business. You need to, or you cheated on me. That means you don't have no self-control. And that's crazy. That's just like telling a woman, you can control yourself while you got pregnant. Yeah. Or you couldn't control you. You need to learn how to control your period, your menstrual cycle. That doesn't make any sense. It is how you're hardwired, right? It is something that's it's in the chemicals, right? Right. I saw somebody in my post rebuttaling stuff, and that's okay. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I just know that I'm tired of each one of us, man and woman, blaming each other for certain things. If we could understand each other, which I try to make people to do, is to understand the different sex. Fortunately, most of the people on my live, and most people on my page are women. It sounds crazy for a man to tell a woman how a woman is and how they should be. What I do is I tell you how a man is because I am a man. You see the difference? The difference is there are people who come on my live on my post and try to tell me, a man, how a man should be. Don't make no sense to me. Absolutely not. That's just like an ant trying to tell the bird how to be a bird. That's just like telling the alligator, telling the fish, just because it can swim, how to be a fish. Doesn't make any sense. But I let people have that conversation because we are all on different soul stages. I won't say levels because the younger souls who are very much gifted, all right, all right, I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So, all right, so we're going to go into their readings, but I want you guys to take a look at this right here. This book, you cannot, you cannot, like, this book is one of the ultimate books on understanding the soul. This right here, the Michael's teachings. You cannot have soul conversations if you've never read this book. If you've never read this book, how can you sit down and understand this? Like, there is, you never did a past life regression, you never did multiple of them, you don't go into deep states of consciousness. This is the closest thing. Bring it closer, you can see it. The Michael Handbook, a channel system for self-understanding. Say, who paid for that hairdo? Oh, this is in the hairdo. I just wrapped my hair and just fixed it just like that. All right. This right here is a great recommendation. Now we have 3 people. We're gonna start 4, 5. Okay. Oh, we got 6 now. All right. So we're gonna start off with the people who are here who've been okay. So let's go with the first person, which is Devonna Michelle. If you're here, holla at your boy. I have to scroll up and take a look at your information so I could be able to be there. Okay, so let me put your chart up first. Give me a second, y'all. Devonna Michelle. I think that's what your real name is. Or Devonna Brewer, sorry. Devonna Michelle Brewer. And your date of birth is la 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 la. July. Okay, we're born the same year, okay. 27th of July, 24th of July, 1979. And the time of birth is 1:10 p.m. Seattle, Washington. 1:10 p.m. Seattle. I think I spelled that right. Seattle, Washington. All right, so I'm gonna put your chart up if you don't mind. Okay, there you go. Oh Lord. Okay, there you go. So the question that you have, questions that you have is one, am I with the partner I should be with? Will we be together for the remainder of our lives? That's two questions in one. Am I with the partner I should be with? Will we be together for the remainder part of our lives? That's a synastry. You're gonna have to give me another question because I don't have his date of birth, time of birth, or place of birth for me to tell you that. That takes a synastry, which you didn't give me that information. So I'm going to move on to the next question that you have, which is should I stick with what I have been working for in the past or pivot and start a new career endeavor? Okay, so we're going to take a look at your chart and let's take a look at your progress chart and let's see what's going on. All right, so your progress chart, I don't know what you do for a living now, but your chart is showing that you have your sun, your Saturn, your Venus are all and your Mercury and your North Node is all conjunct your MC. So whatever you've been doing for the past couple of years, this is showing that there's definitely no need to leave what you're doing. There may be other options when it comes to a career. But I wouldn't necessarily say start something new. I wouldn't say that. That their chart does not reflect starting a new endeavor. It shows creating longevity and becoming an authority in your endeavor that you're doing now. That's what it's showing. It's showing that endeavor. Okay. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay. Now, as you can see, this placement here is sort of like a faded north node. Normally represents like your purpose. This is your progress chart, by the way. So this is what you're doing now. So what do you do for a living now, Michelle? And if you're open to coming on my live, we could have a conversation about it. But if you're fearful, then I understand. So with the sun conjunct your MC, stay where you're at. Whatever it is that you're doing, stay with it. Okay? Stay with it. With the Venus conjunct your Saturn, that normally creates longevity. You say you're in healthcare, and the sign of Virgo rules healthcare. It rules health. If I was you, I'd stay because at some point you are going to be appointed in a supervisory position, and it's going to come with a raise if you're doing that. It's showing that. I don't know what kind of healthcare you do, but it's showing that there's going to be sort of an opportunity for you to become an authority in that field. If I was you, I'd stay in that health field. As it pertains to your purpose in this lifetime, your North Node is sitting in Virgo and is sitting in the 12th house. Virgo is ruled by Chiron in your chart, and your Chiron is in the 8th house in Taurus. And in the 8th house in Taurus, well, when the North Node is in the 12th house, this is showing that you're here to be of service for the collective. You're here to be of service to the collective and help the collective to heal. What I'm also seeing is that with your Saturn conjunct your North Node, you're here to be an authority in the area of healing, but in the area of being a spiritual healer is what you're here to do. Your purpose is to become a spiritual healer, one that heals deep seated wounds and wounds that deal with the self esteem of people that they've been holding around for a very long time. That is what you're here to do. This is your purpose at this point in time, based upon this chart, that is. Oh, yes. Keisha, can you add ski nail Lee L to the list so that I can get it over it? Yeah, well, for sure, Michelle, you, Demona, Michelle, you're a healer. Some people could say that they're a healer, but that's really your purpose here. This is what your purpose is. Like literally, that's what you're here to do. All right. A question about your partner that needs to be, yeah, that I won't be able to answer that. All right. But if I look at the progress chart and I could tell you if there's going to be a separation, I could do that. And I would say that with your descendant and your Vesta and your Chiron sitting in the 7th house, and what you need to do is not be nitpicking. But the ruler of your 7th house is conjunct Saturn. That normally represents a long-term relationship. And it's conjunct the sun and it's conjunct your MC. I would say it's a go for like long term. However, with the Venus that's in Virgo, it's not really comfortable in Virgo. It's in fall in Virgo. And that means that you probably nitpick or find faults or just find yourself feeling as if you are over servicing or over compensating or doing a little too much without getting the reciprocation on your end. And you have to learn how to navigate that. Men and women are different in relationships, even though they complement each other. So, is this a long-term relationship? It shows that. But in the next 6 years, it may shift. I'm not saying that it could break up, but it's showing in the next 6 years that relationship may change. All right. Next up is Ski. Ski, can you send me a message? All right. Ski, if you could send me a message on Facebook, that'd be perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Then we got Candace Kelly. Candace, you have two Facebooks. All right. Starseed Storm. Cooper Star. All right. I need to see if you can send me a message if you've actually, sent some money. Let me know. But Ski, if you could send a message so like I could actually look and well, let me look for your message. Uh Send me a message, please, so I could get your. Let me see if this is it. I need for you to send me the message. If you don't, I won't be able to do your reading for now. All right, Keish, who's next? I think that's. Yeah, I got you, Candace. I'm going in order. The people who sent. Mel Rowe. Mel Rowe is next. So Mel Rowe, I got you. This reading is for my nephew. Okay. So I'm gonna plug in his date of birth. His name is Isaac Rogers. Isaac Rogers. And his date of birth is the 15th of July, 2023. Madison, Wisconsin. Is that Madison, Wisconsin? 7:05 a.m. Madison. I think that's Wisconsin. I'm not sure if that's what it's saying. Madison. Okay, Madison, Wisconsin. And he was born 7:05 a.m. Let's take a look at this little young soul. Let's see what he came here to do. So your question is, what is his life's purpose? Tell me two things about him that we need to know. All right, I got you. Now, this soul is a Leo rising. This soul is a Leo rising. We mentioned about Leo risings being the face. Okay. Being a leader naturally. This soul is a boy. Well, this same thing right here is the dark moon Lilith conjunct the ascendant. So there's going to be people are either going to love him or hate him. There will be no in between. But this child will be a beautiful child whenever there's Venus sitting in the first house. That means that this person is going to be aesthetically beautiful. So this boy is going to be very, very good looking. However, what I see here is that his sun is in the 12th house in Cancer. And then his moon, which is a rule of Cancer, is in Gemini in the 11th house. That's normally an indication of a soul that whose father, if his father's in his life, may end up not being there like how he wants. Saturn inside Pisces is normally also another indication that, especially in the 8th house, that, you know, the father at some point could end up either locked up or you or being in jail at some point. I say that because Nemesis is conjunct the moon, which is the ruler of the 12th house. Okay. But let's go back into the purpose. The purpose of this soul, which is North Node sitting here in the 10th house, and widely conjunct the MC, and with his Venus being in the first side and the first house of Leo. This person is here to be a personality. He's here to be, to some degree, an emotional and spiritual healer. Um, his experience is going to take him into helping people, um, and he's going to be pretty much well known. His Jupiter sitting in the 10th house, and that's normally indication that his persona on the outside is going to be big. There are two experiences that he can go through. One, one of ending up in jail or prison, if not raised with the certain masculine energy, because the Saturn is in Pisces and is in the 8th house. And the sun sitting in the 12th house is like Piscean energy. This child will be very artistic. I didn't say autistic, I said artistic. Okay. Very, very artistic. South node and also with the north node in Taurus, the soul. The soul, what this soul would be, because I'm looking, sorry, the messages. This soul would be, it's sort of like working in the health field, health industry, if they have the opportunity. The rule of the MC is right here, is Aries. I mean Mars, and Mars is in the 2nd house in Virgo, conjunct Pallas Athena, and conjunct abundance. So what I see here is this person, if they do not go into the military and work in the service area, they could find themselves working in the health field. Okay, because of the service field or the health field. There are two different options for this soul to experience. What they need to know about their relationships. This child or soul will, they're going to be addicted to games. So when they get older, when they get a certain age, you're going to find that this child is going to be playing a lot of video games. I see the Bacchus in the 5th house, which represents fun time, but it's Sagittarius. And that's one thing they're going to be addicted to. And they're going to be addicted to the spotlight, attention. Because this child is going to be very intense. South node in Scorpio normally indicates a sort of an intense energy. All right. They may have a very, very intense, needing a lot of attention from a previous lifetime. As it pertains to that, like I told you, they're here to be popular. They're here to be rich and popular, and to be a spiritual healer to some degree as well, especially with the ruler of this sitting in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in the 12th house in Cancer. They're also going to be very popular amongst their friends. The ruler, they also, this person could be an athlete too, with the ruler of the 5th house sitting in the 10th house. They could also end up being an athlete, a strong one too, very competitive, very talented. All right, that's what I see based upon this child. You don't have to worry. They're going to be very, very stable. When the ruler of the 2nd house is sitting in the 10th house, that's normally an indication of somebody who's going to be rich. All right, next is Tank. I think that's Tank. If I could find your messages. All right, there you go. Tank a bell. Tank a bell. I got you. We're gonna pull up your chart. All right. Okay. Let me look at your chart, Tank. Or Tanka. Okay. Let me go and get this chart. Give me a second, y'all. Let me see if I start you as Tanka. No, I don't have you start as Tanka. Let me. I gotta look up to find your chart again. This is rough. You didn't put your time of birth or your place of birth here. So I gotta scroll down and look. And I think did your I did your rectification of your time of birth. So I'm gonna need you to message me again. I need you to message me again, Tanka, so I could get to that. So I gotta go on to the next one. So message and let me know if you are here, your time of birth that I sent to you, or your real name. You can message me your real name. All right. So next up, we have. So I have a lot of people, but this is good. Candace Kelly. So Candace Kelly, I'm gonna pull up your chart. Candace Kelly. And your questions are one, oh, you did message me. One question is, what does the rest of the year hold for me financially? Two, will the decision I made to stay at your apartment will make this year harder or easier for myself and my children? I am newly divorced. What does my love life look like in the near future? All right, we can handle that. That's a good question. What does the rest of the year look like? What we're going to pull up is called I'm going to look at the age harmonic chart for you. It's called an age harmonic. And it's going to give me a little understanding of what you're going to go through. All right, so this is your age harmonic chart. I see your sun is conjunct your north node in the second house. Your Jupiter is in your third, Pluto in the fourth. Moon conjunct your MC in the seventh. That's right. These charts, the age harmonic chart, is not governed by regular astrology rules. Your descendant is in your 10th house. And what I see here with the descendant in the 10th house is that you could end up connecting with somebody from a past life. But this could happen on the job in the public when you go out. I also see that your Venus is in your first house in Gemini. This year is looking like you're gonna be socializing, and also it seems as if a sister is gonna help you to bring out the best in you because Venus represents female and Gemini represents sibling. I also see that your ascendant in Gemini, with the rule of it being in Cancer, is showing that you're going to be more family oriented. When it comes to the home that you're living in, you said staying there, if you should stay there. Um, your Moon is in Sagittarius, conjunct your MC, which means that your home should be closer to where you work at, living where you work at. And with Pluto being in the fourth house, this could also bring a fear of being homeless and not being able to take care of the home that you're living in. You will also have a fear of not being able to take care of your children, meaning like, comfort them and do the things that you would want to do with them mostly. And that's because of Ceres being the mother experience or nurturing, and in Virgo, meaning you want to do it a particular way. So you may be missing out on that. Your North Node in Cancer, Cancer conjunct your Sun widely shows that at some point you're going to get a raise. That's what I'm seeing. I noticed that because the ruler of your second house is conjunct your MC. That normally represents either a raise or a promotion. A raise or a promotion. Okay. Um, Mercury in the second house, your mind is going to be, you're going to be spending more money and be focusing on the family this year, spending money in the house or home or apartment, but it's showing that it should be close to where you work at. You're going to get it connected to a man that's emotionally unavailable, and also there's going to be secret parts of him that he does not share with you. He's going to be, of some degree, have a background in a different country, different culture. I guess that's where this descendant in Pisces shows up at the 10th house. You may meet him on the job or through just going out in public. Uh, that's what I see when it comes to that. Let's see what else I see here. So that's what the rest of the year holds for you financially. There's a win up and down, but it shows, like I told you, you're going to get a promotion. But the decision I made to stay at an apartment will make this year harder or easier for myself. And I think I explained that. I'm a newly divorced. What does my love life look like in the near future? A love life is connected to romantic life is the fifth house, and long term relationship is the seventh house, and you have Bacchus there, which means that you're gonna be sort of addicted to wanting to have a partnership. You're gonna feel as if you're lonely and that you know want to connect with somebody. But I see that the ruler of your seventh house is in Gemini. Is in the third house of Leo, and that means that you may attract a very charismatic person, somebody like I said, who is going to be like emotionally unavailable, good talker. But I don't see a maybe because the rule of your fifth house is Juno and it's in the ninth house. So there possibly two male counterparts that you may encounter. One may not be as honest, and the other is going to be just different, eccentric, and unique. You know, this second one is going to be a little bit more, how should I put it, manly. But you may meet this one on the internet or going out. So that's what I see here. All right. So who's next? Candace Kelly. Like I said, I tell you what's going on. I don't see permanent. I see sort of like off and on. The question Keishan asks is Earth ever incorporated into the chart readings? Only when done with an astrologer. Most people don't do it. Most astrologers don't do it. All right. Okay. Oh, so you say you're 7 minutes away from your home. Work is 7 minutes away from your home. So I think well, stay there. If you was to move away from that, that won't that won't work out too well. You said Ski. I told Ski to write me a message so that I could, you know, Ski. What's your Facebook name again, Ski? Send me a message because I don't have your information here. I don't see it. So if you're watching, send a message. Next up is Gloria Harris. And Gloria, let me see where your message is because I don't really see it here. Oh, I see Ski. All right, hey Ski. Thank you, Ski Cotton. All right, December the 18th, 1988, 4:58 p.m. And you were born Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina. All right. So your first question: in what ways will this solar eclipse impact my life? I mean, and I guess you're gonna need another question, but it's sitting in your 11th house of friends and associates, and it's about 5 degrees off from your Eros, and um, 3 degrees off from your Eros, and 5 degrees off from your Mars, and that could create a conflict between friends or associates, or you may feel the need to, cut off a friend. There could be a certain conflict out on social media that you may not be comfortable about that may happen. But this full moon, I mean this solar eclipse that happened may affect your circle of friends to the point where you will, you know, there could be a friend that end up fighting or end up in an accident. All right. But there's something that's going to be happening to a friend or an associate that's close to you based upon this placement. Will North Carolina be a good move for me? I live in Maryland currently. Well, this chart is like a part of your natal chart. And living here, or living in North Carolina, your sun will be in the seventh house. Let's see. Based upon this, I'll have to take a look at your chart. Let me just stop with the screen so you can take a look at your relocation chart. So give me a second. I'm gonna pull up the map, and then I'm going to share the map. All right. So you mentioned about North Carolina. Let me just zoom in. It's gonna take a little while. We're also going to look at what you're supposed to be doing financially, which is another question that you asked. Now, if this takes long, that means that this software is frozen. It normally happens like that. So don't, let me take a look at your chart. All right, there you go. So this right here is North Carolina. And you have your Mars and your Sun. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Let me give it some time so we can look at. what's going on here. Sometimes it's going to generate. It just takes a while. But how it's looking? It's looking like your Mercury line is running through North Carolina. That's what it's looking like. I just want to make sure. But as you can see, your Jupiter and your Venus is really close to Las Vegas. If you're looking to make money or be successful, the West Coast, Los Angeles and Las Vegas, would be perfect for you. That's what I see here, based upon this. Okay. So that's what I see here when it comes to that. Okay. Next up, what should I be doing financially? What should you be doing financially? And based upon this chart, what should you be doing financially? Damn, this thing is just messing me right up. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on with this, but I'm gonna have to task manager. I'm gonna have to end this. Because my Janus is acting up. I'm gonna have to end this task. And then start over again. All right, so give me a second. I gotta start over again. Crying out loud. These software be annoying sometimes. All right, ski. Your chart. Which I'm gonna pull up again. What I should be doing financially. Well, your natal chart, you have Cancer and Chiron on your second house. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Your moon is in Taurus and is sitting in the 12th house. Now, you have Jupiter and Taurus as well. But let's take a look at your progress chart to see what you'll be doing right now. So we're going to cast that chart. We're going to take a look at what it's showing for now. And you have the moon there sitting in the second house. So there's definitely a catering towards females. The sign is Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun, and your sun is in Aquarius in the 8th house. What I see is cryptocurrency. I see using other people's money because it's an up and down flow. Take in mind now, the second house, as Leo wanted, Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Aquarius and is in the 8th house. That's normally indication of like cryptocurrency or using trading, because the 8th house rules other people's money, taxes and bills, the stock market to some degree. And you have Mercury conjunct it, which represents like intellect, information. So in order for you to have money, I see stocks or cryptocurrency or just investing into those things is what I see. That is going to bring you up and down yields, but it's going to make sure it's that is okay up and down yields. All right, because the moon there, normally wherever the moon is, it's where you have ups and downs, ebbs and flow. But using that, the flow will be more continuously than if you don't use it at all. So that's what I see here. All right. Next up is Gloria Harris. I think Gloria Harris is the last one. And no, we got Kim. So Gloria Harris. Did you send me your oh, Gloria Harris, let's see. Did she send her information here? Keisha, is Gloria Harris, did she message me? Because I don't see her information. All right, so where's Gloria Harris? I didn't send her with questions, just open love, family, and change, and grant any age significance of the change in my life path phases. Oh, because I need your date of birth, your time of birth, and the place of birth in order for me to handle this. So you're born on the 8th of December, 1968. So make a new chart. Gloria, Haris, the 8th of December, 1968. And I need your time of birth also, Gloria. That is important. 3:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Washington, D.C. 3:18 a.m. Washington, D.C. Okay. So, Gloria. Okay. So, you want me to tell you what you need to hear? I didn't send it in question, just open. Love, family, and changing career. And any age significance of the change in my life path phases is in highlight. Okay. So, let me look at your progress chart to see what's going on. Woo! Okay. Your progress chart shows that you're progressing to being a Sagittarius ascendant. And then there's Jupiter, which is a ruler of your ascendant. It's conjunct Uranus and it's conjunct South Node and it's 11th house. Where's your Juno? You see. And that's in Sagittarius. So what I see based upon this is that, you know, Miss Harris, just what I'm looking at. With your progress chart, your North Node is sitting in Aries in the 5th house. And it's conjunct Chiron in the sign of Aries. And whenever North Node is sitting inside the first house in the progress chart, especially conjunct Chiron, this is showing that you are here right now at this point in time to focus on your talents and your skills and entertaining yourself and focusing on oneself, being competitive and driven. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars, and your Mars is in the 12th house in Scorpio. So what I see here is that your purpose right now at this point in time, which you should be focused on, is your talents, your actual deep spiritual and psychic and mediumship powers. This is showing that you're here right at this point in time. You're here to develop those things, to put the time and energy into it, and to shine with that. With Saturn sitting in your 5th house, this shows that you need to take your self and your talents very seriously and to make a business, if you don't have one already, of those talents that you have. Okay. And that's by whenever the rule of the 5th house is sitting in 12th house in the sign of Scorpio, and with Pluto being conjunct your MC, this is showing that there's a total transformation that's coming when it comes to your career. Sorry, right here. career. So there's definitely a shift, but the shift has to do with that Scorpio energy. All right. This is showing that your purpose right now is to, especially with the sign of Scorpio, is to delve deep into the psyche, dealing with past lives. Because the 12th house is also the house of past lives and Scorpio ruling trauma. So what I see is with Pluto being here as well, conjuncture your MC, psychology or anything dealing with healing, because the sign Virgo and Pluto dealing deep wounds, you know, I see this is what you need to be doing. Oh, what'd you say? Oh, I want to join your team. Oh, this is okay. Okay. All right. Well, this is what I'm seeing here. Okay. This is what I see. And it's sort of connected to that past life regression. But that's what I'm seeing here based upon this chart. That's what you will be focused on. Your North Node is conjunct Chiron. And Chiron is the wounded healer. And that means that you're supposed to focus on healing because your North Node is 1 degrees, and this is 0. Healing, and Aries represents self. Aries is ruled by Mars, and your Mars is in Scorpio in the 12th house. Spiritual, deep healing, but you have to do it with yourself first. And even more so, there's some things that need to be done, but you're supposed to be using that as a career because Pluto, Scorpio, and it's conjunct your MC. So I could see that happening. All right. So that's a career change I see here, a shifting, something more deeper. Family wise, you had Venus in Pisces in the 4th house. I see, and especially conjunct your I see, I don't see anything terrible about it. What I do see is that if you're not living by the water, then you supposed to be making it your home to some degree. Any body of water would be perfect for you. With your sun in the 3rd house, knowledge of astrology um, is important at this point in time. And actually, being taught because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is conjunct Jupiter, which represents the teacher. And it all boils down to the exact same thing. This is showing that at some point, the information you're supposed to be receiving, you need to be teaching back to the people from on social media. Relationship wise, I see Nemesis and Dark Maul Lilith, and it's in Gemini. mm, Especially with Aquarius, you can meet somebody, on the internet, communicating or talking. But this won't be somebody who will be long term. This will be just flighty, something that may just wait a minute. But then you have Aquarius ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is young Jupiter in Libra in the 11th house. Well, you may get lucky on dating sites if you're not in a relationship now. Okay. Yeah, I could tell that you love traveling because your Juno is in the 1st house, 28-degree conjuncture. You could actually meet somebody through travel, which would be great. And that's what I see here based upon this. Money wise, Capricorn, it represents business, the government. Uh, yeah. And your Saturn is sitting in the 5th house in Aries, which boils back to this, which shows that you are the business. You need to push yourself more, your talents and skills, which is connected to mediumship, also spirituality, and delving deep into the spiritual world, past lives, and what have you. And that's going to help to create a more stable financial setting for you. All right. Thank you very much for choosing me to help guide you in this lifetime. All right. Thank you very much. Kim, I think you're the last one. And oh, Tanka Bell. Tanka, that's I gotta finish your chart because I think you're here too. So I got Tanka Bell and it's Kim. So Tanka Bell, let me do your chart. Tanka, you were born the 20th of November, 1988. And you were born, the time I gave you was 5:22 p.m. Orangeburg, South Carolina. 5:22 p.m. Sorry, 5:22 p.m. Orangeburg, South Carolina. And let's go. So your questions are: when will I receive my inheritance? How long will I be in my current situation? Why am I going through what I'm going through? Okay, so let's look at that so we can answer that question for you. Whew. Okay, so let me do a progress chart for you. Let's see what's going on. Let's look at the progress chart. Click it up. Okay, so your eighth house doesn't. All right, okay, so eighth house of inheritance. All right, your eighth house of inheritance has Aquarius on it. Now, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and your Uranus is conjunct your Sun and conjunct Saturn, conjunct Descendant. What I see here is that there's a sort of a delay, and your Saturn, your Uranus, is opposite to your Chiron and your Ascendant. This is showing that in order for you to heal your or to get your inheritance, there needs to be healing in the family dynamic. There needs to be pride that needs to be removed. You see, your second house is the house of money, but the eighth house is the house of inheritance and other people's money. And when the ruler of your ascendant and the Chiron is in opposition to Uranus, the ruler of your eighth house, this is showing that there's a delay. There's some pride and some controlling energy that's dealing with your inheritance. But on an energetic level, this is showing that there needs to be healing in the family, which is represented by Cancer, dynamic. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon is in Leo in the second house. And that shows that there is some pride that's definitely stopping this from happening. Leo is ruled by the sun, and it goes right back to Uranus and back to Saturn, which represents authoritative figure holding, I would say tag teaming or getting a partnership, what have you. But what I'm seeing is that there's something that's energetically needs to heal, and that has to do with your dynamic with your family member. To answer that first question. Second question: how long will I be in my current situation? Let's look at that and see what's going on. Your current situation, since this is your progress chart, you just turned into a Cancer rising. Your moon is in Leo, is in 11th degree. That's about, let's just say, about 1 year and 1 year and 9 months. That's about close to 2 years before your moon changes the sign and goes into the sign of Virgo. and the fourth house ruler, there is still going to be some manipulation in the family and some bullying because Toro is the bully and Dark Moon Lilith is the manipulator. There's going to be some fakeness in the family, but you still have to learn how to just be okay with them being how they are. This thing needs to be healed in order for you to experience that inheritance that you want. Um, Third question: why am I going through what I'm going through? And to answer your question, in your progress chart, you have North Node in Pisces, and it's sitting in the ninth house. At this point in time, oh, also, just want you to know the reason why I said it needs healing is because Sun, opposite the Sun, is where the Earth is. If the Sun is in 4 degrees in Capricorn, that means your Earth is in 4 degrees in Cancer, as you can see. It's conjuncted, or whatever the Earth is what you're here to do at this point in time when it comes to your earthly purpose, which means that there's healing has to be done in the family. As it pertains to your North Node in Pisces in the ninth house, there's spiritual growth that needs to happen. You need to be diligent. You're not diligent enough. The reason why I say that is because when a North Node in the progress chart, this shows you what you're supposed to be focused on at this point in time. In the ninth house, which rules spirituality and philosophy, and Pisces ruling psychic ability, collective unconsciousness. And Neptune, which is the rule of Uranus of Pisces, is here. It's here in the seventh house in Capricorn, which is normally an indicator of being diligent, being sturdy, because Saturn in the ascendant connected here shows that you need at this point in time to be focused on your spirituality, on your philosophy, on your philosophy, on your spirituality, and that's what needs to be happening. That's the reason why you're going through what you're going through. You're not diligent enough. Okay. Um, and that's what's happening. So, Tanka, I hope you know you whatever information you get with that, you take that and you apply it to what you need to. All right, there's no more requests for the night. We'll be doing this with tomorrow's tomorrow. If you want your spot, you can follow this and we'll put you on the list for tomorrow. I'm only taking in 12 persons. That's it. 112, 12 people. That's it. So if you feel a need, you can follow this information, what you've been seeing, and me and my admin will basically, collaborate. The time that I'll be going will be, let me look at my calendar. I'll be going around in the evening. That'll be around between uh, 5 and 6. Oh, Kim. Yes, Kim. Sorry. Kim. You're the last one, Kim Patterson. Okay, I got Kim. I got you, Miss Kim. Let me look at your chart. Let me look at your questions that you have. So the question that Kim have: who was I in my past life, and what are my gifts, and where did I live in my past life? I thought I answered this for you before. But since you want the answer again, we gonna go hard at it. With your natal chart as a Leo rising, the 12th house normally tells you you know what you were in a previous lifetime because the moon is connected to the emotions. And with your Moon being in Gemini in the 11th house, you were a teacher. You were somebody who taught. You were also the partner of a teacher. Your partner was a teacher, who was a communicator. Where's your Mercury in Aries in the ninth house? You definitely live in a different country. There are a few places that are Aries rising, and those are tropical placements, which means that you live in a tropical island. Based upon this, you have Eros conjunct the ruler of your 11th house and Amor. And, based upon this, that's what it's shooting for. It's shooting for tropical, different country, different culture, different walk of life. Your moon in the 18th degree, which is 1 plus 9, which means that you were a very different, eccentric, unique teacher, somebody who taught uh, things that wasn't supposed to be taught. All right, things like spirit are spiritual in nature. You have Psyche conjunct your Juno and conjunct your Moon. That's normally a connection of being a teacher of the masses of people, being connected to a partner who also taught psychic information. So you were basically a teacher. All right, that's what you were, a sort of a teacher of knowledge. This could be in a monastery or someplace that is warm and tropical. Were you a male or female? Looking at this, with your Mercury in Aries, with your Moon in Gemini, I would say that you were a female. You were a female because that Moon is conjunct Juno, and that's the perfect partner. So you're definitely a female in that most recent lifetime. Let's see, what else is your next question? What are my gifts and where did I live in my most recent lifetime? I think I answered the first two, the first and the last. What are your gifts? Last question. Your gifts, natal wise. You are a natural born leader, an initiator. You have the gift of starting ideas. There is the gift of teaching, of knowledge, information. You have the gift of diplomacy and deliberating or giving information in a very beautiful way where people can understand and digest. You have the gift of, because your Mars in the sixth house, you are a workaholic. You have the gift of being of service. Another gift you have is the gift of dreams. Your Jupiter is conjunct your Neptune, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius. That's one of your gifts. Your gift also is the gift of prophecy. You're able to prophesy what can happen based upon what's in your dreams. Your dreams is basically a prophetic thing. You have the gift of inspiration. Your Chiron is in Aries, it conjunct the sun, and that sort of means that you inspire people just by being, by your experience. You have the gift of imagination, visualization. You also have the gift of very unique ideas. Doesn't mean that you use them, but it shows that your Venus is in the eighth house and it's in Pisces. You have the gift of mediumship. Your South Node is in Leo. You have the gift of commanding a presence, especially in the first house. So you have the gift of, kind of being able to dance or act or just do things that entertain people. You're also a fighter, but not in the way that people think, meaning that you can be argumentative. So you have the gift of debating. I know it's a gift, and it's showing that you have it. All right. And those I see are your gifts based upon this. All right. I want to thank you guys. Let me see. Lauren Nelson. Did I? We'll do that tomorrow. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for being here with me. Appreciate you guys. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your night. You could have been anywhere, but you choose to be here with me. I appreciate you. When we get into the nerdy stuff, I get a little bit more serious because I'm using my intuition and I'm using my left brain at the same time. But I like to talk some foolishness. I like to cut up sometimes, but we'll do that on my Facebook. All right, y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.